Hey everyone, this is Garrig of the Hedera Hashgraph team. Thanks so much for joining our first ever Hedera Boost demo day. Hedera Boost is our free startup program helping founders build on Hedera Hashgraph. In this week, we're giving 5 founders 5 minutes each to pitch their startup. We have a great group of founders spanning all over the world in a variety of industries. If you have any questions for them, please add it in the comments or chat, and we'll be sure to get those answered. We hope you enjoyed today. We're going to start out with Agrio. They're building financial tools for farmers.
Hello, everyone. I am here to talk about one of the biggest challenges of our times. 500 million farming families around the globe, which rely on agriculture, have no access to financial services at all. And we are in 2020, believe it or not. And why this is so important? This is very important in our times. We are in the times of digital economy, because we have a growing population with a growing demand in food, fibers, and other products from the agriculture space. And to achieve that, the 70% increased demand, we need to increase $2 trillion a year in capital only for credit, plus insurance and all the services for those farmers produce what we need to supply our humanity. Exactly to address this challenge, in a partnership with Hedera, we are building Agrio as a provider of new age in financial services for agricultural space. And doing that, we can become a global connector, a global risk provider, and a global connector for financial services in the agriculture space, providing a new source of opportunities for those farmers and a new source of opportunity for financial providers to bring these people to the year 2020 in the financial services. How can we do that? So, using our proprietary technology, which combine multiple sources of data with our modeling integrated to the Hedera infrastructure, we can enable, for example, what we have today running with some companies, lending services with trust. So our system evaluate a crop field, generate credit score, risk assessment, and inside of the system itself has trust built using Hedera HCS, for example, where we can prove what is inside of that credit score and that evaluation. Our infrastructure as a SaaS-like provider combines the source of information, the source of the places and the contracts, process everything, and provide all this information about the credit score, risk assessment, contracts monitoring, fraud detections, the credit profiles itself, all that with this focus in trust and auditability, and for companies to know what's going on with any farmer. As I mentioned before, these companies can integrate through our system, get through the APIs, get back all the information. This takes 5 minutes to process everything in any crop field on earth, to take 20 years history and generate credit score and all the other measures, which combines more than 500 variables today. It's much simple, fast, and cheaper than any other based on human service. We have been getting some traction a couple of months, and one of the major goals for us was to have a partner in the trust layer side, which is the Hedera Hashgraph through the Boost program, and we're very happy about that. We are working in South America markets, starting operation in North America in the coming months, with some good news coming to the line in the next 2 months, and growing our operation, our teams, and very happy about the progress here. So trust is fundamental, security is fundamental, and quality of evaluation and finance for farmers, it's critical. Let's work together, let's solve that.
Thanks, Isaac. That was great and exciting to see the momentum building. Next up, we have Attica, a research project for building secure elections on Hedera Hashgraph.
Hey everybody, my name is Derek Larkins, and I am here to talk about our project Attica, a secure voting platform for elections. We're trying to address the issues with that are related to paper ballots, DRE or direct recording electronic voting machines, and also the mistrust of these systems by the public. So going into detail, let's look at paper ballots. These are our most secure and most trusted form of elections that we have today. We've had them much longer than any form of electronic machine and have been vetted and proved to be fairly secure. But just inherent to the system, they have some vulnerabilities when it comes to the handling of these ballots. They're prone to being just lost in transportation, mistallied when they're being counted. And there's multiple other issues that should be addressed when we're talking about paper ballots and how secure they are. And taking the next step forward into the electronic frontier, we looked at DRE machines, or direct recording electronic voting machines. And these are the touchscreen displays that you might have seen when you go in to vote. You have the list of candidates in front of you and you just tap the candidate that you want to vote for. And these are great in practice or in theory, but unfortunately they were very unsecure in practice. And this all leads into the blind trust in these systems. We have a lot of people when they're asked if do they trust the election system as it is? And a lot of responses are, it's their job to get it right. There's no reason not to trust them. I have to assume that they're counting it correctly. And while those are nice assumptions, unfortunately, they're not necessarily true when we take a look at how these elections are being handled. The way that the votes are being handled is different state by state, and it's very hard to form a uniform trust across all of these systems just by saying that it's their job to get it right. Unfortunately, it is their job, but we need to make sure that they're getting it right. So what is Attica? Attica establishes verifiable trust in electoral processes by leveraging the transparency of distributed immutable ledgers. Now that's a lot of big words, but let's go into depth about just 3 main points of what we're trying to accomplish with this project. So transparency in the process. We want a public record of those encrypted votes so that users might not be able to see who has the most votes at any given time, because that would lead to bias. But we want to make sure that you can verify that your vote is in the system, it's being counted, and it's being tracked properly, and make sure that it's not being edited at all, most importantly. So increasing the transparency to empower the public to validate their vote is a very key part of this project. A secure, user-friendly interface. We want to make sure that our project isn't harder to use than the currently existing ones. We don't want to decrease how many people we get to vote. We want to increase it by making sure it's as easy to use and easier if possible. And overall, just increase trust. We want to make sure that the public is able to trust how their votes are being handled and remove this question of whether votes are being tampered with to enhance the dialogue of how our elections are being handled and who we should vote for. We should be able to trust the system inherently, not necessarily question it. And how does it actually work? So we use Attica to create a ballot. We create a ballot that will be able to be signed and confirmed by an affidavit that this is your ballot, and you can submit that through a paper ballot reader. Then individuals can verify those votes on Hedera. They'll be able to check that their votes are being counted, they're in the ledger, they're through third parties, so it's not just us that are able to verify it. They're able to go out and verify it on their own, which is a very key part. And then post-election, be able to publicly verify these votes. So what are our milestones? Like I said, we're currently focused on developing for the student elections here at CSU. And then after that, we're looking to take this project further, hopefully to expand this to other universities to offer to use the project, and then potentially looking at taking this further into state elections or wherever the market demands. And that's all that we are: security, integrity, trust. Attica, we try and solve all of those at the same time, and we hope that you enjoy.
Hopefully you'll see Attica at a voting place near you soon. And next we have a developer tool, ProvenDB. They're building a trustworthy database.
Hi, I'm Guy Harrison, CTO and founder of ProvenDB, and I'm here to talk to you about ProvenDB and the Proofable API services. So I'd like to start by talking about the role of databases, trust, and security. So before we had digital storage techniques, we used to store data mainly on paper records. And paper is a fairly fragile storage mechanism, but it has the advantage that when something's written, overriding it becomes difficult to do without leaving forensic traces. But ever since we have invented the digital storage technologies of digital disks and solid state disks, we've been faced with the dilemma that anything written to these disks can be overwritten and can leave no trace. And we've built an entire economic and financial infrastructure for our societies based on these completely malleable storage medium that are really capable of immense hacking and fraudulent activity. Now, in the world of cybersecurity, we deal with this problem through defense in depth, which is to say we wrap layers and layers of security around these fragile medium. So the disks can be tampered with, so we surround them with a database that has its own layer of security. The database is surrounded by an application level security, network authentication, firewalls, and so on. But of course, hackers can and do penetrate deep in through these layers and get to the underlying disk records. And furthermore, there are in all organisations insiders who have the privilege to overwrite these medium at any time. And so this is the core reason why in our society we're facing a huge amount of loss of trust. Data tampering is rife, fake news, false news, deep fakes. We're constantly hearing about people falsifying digital information. It's just too easy. So blockchain to the rescue, because blockchain, of course, is an immutable and tamper-proof storage mechanism that allows us to be sure once we've written something that it hasn't been overwritten. But unfortunately, blockchains simply don't have the characteristics of databases that make them useful for building modern applications. And so this is the dilemma. We either use a database and sacrifice immutability, tamper-proofing, and trust, or we use a blockchain and sacrifice economics and functionality and performance. That is, until ProvenDB. ProvenDB was designed to bridge the gap between databases and blockchains. And so in ProvenDB, the data is stored in a pretty much conventional database, but anytime anything's changed, we create new versions of the data. So we don't overwrite anything, we just keep multiple versions of data. And periodically, we anchor that data to a public blockchain such as Hedera Hashgraph, Ethereum, or Bitcoin to prove the state and integrity of all the data in the database. A single signature can prove the state of the entire database, so it's very efficient and very high performance. Proofable is an API service that allows you to sort of bring your own database if you don't want to use our database service, or hook up to any other data source like Kafka or something like that. And in a single proofable API call, you can anchor millions of digital assets to multiple public blockchains, again, including Hedera Hashgraph, Ethereum, or Bitcoin. And as well as these two developer services, we also have ProvenDB Compliance Vault, which is a turnkey solution for regulatory compliance storage that allows end users to store their important documents in a sort of a digital document vault, which is backed up by the integrity and security of ProvenDB, which in turn is backed up by the integrity and security of Hedera Hashgraph, Ethereum, or Bitcoin. So that's Proofable and ProvenDB. I'd encourage you to visit us at provendb.com or proofable.io, and we have a short demo video also here at the demo day that shows you how to use these two technologies from the command line. Thanks a lot. I hope that was useful.
It sure was, Guy. We're excited to try out ProvenDB. Moving forward, we have SEUN Water, a smart water monitoring system trying to improve accountability in key industries like healthcare.
Hello, and thank you for attending today. My name is Jennifer Kim. I am founder and CEO of SEUN, and SEUN means pure in Korean. We are in the water technology space, and we created our business in 2018 in order to bridge some technology gaps. These are the 4 communities we've so far identified that have a very common pain point, and that is water quality. Today in this presentation, I'm going to focus on water monitoring for healthcare. And the reason for that is many important processes in the healthcare industry are extremely antiquated. There are large HVAC systems in these mega hospitals. The problem with these large infrastructure systems is that they're made of closed loop water systems. And it is the water in these closed loop systems that are able to be unbalanced. And these imbalances can cause expensive repair and also illness within patients, people who visit hospitals, and the people who work in the hospitals. So what we want to do is take this very archaic, old-fashioned way of testing the water in these closed loops where they identify that there is a problem with the water, and people come in from a lab, take samples from various parts of the closed loop, and then take this water back to the lab and then give a report to the hospital. What we want to do is take this antiquated process and make it autonomous and continuous surveillance. So you will now see that a lot of the old lab technicians will eventually look like what data scientists do today. So what our water technology device will do is be a proactive solution when there is an emergency with water, or even mitigate emergencies before they even start. And we would like to prolong the life of large infrastructure systems that depend on water as well, because the hospitals, they invest a lot of money, a lot of time in these huge systems. Currently, SEUN measures these qualities: dissolved oxygen, electrical conductivity, pH, temperature, and water turbidity. It is these qualities that are able to monitor different chemical levels in these closed loop systems constantly. Our software is very powerful. We have built it on Hedera Hashgraph Consensus Service. And what we do is, because this is water, because it's a natural resource, we want to make it so that the data is trustworthy and also auditable, because in the future, we hope that the sources of water we're able to guarantee that these sources of water are pure, these sources of water are safe. And we can't really do that unless we have auditable data, and this is why we're building on Hedera Hashgraph. To do a pilot program with a local hospital, we couldn't do that just because of the pandemic. However, they wanted us to do a pilot program anyway, so we've been building the infrastructure to be doing that. We're in the middle of doing this pilot program, and we're really excited to be able to furnish these results to the hospitals. We have new features we're already developing: leak detection, measuring biofilm, which can, by measuring biofilm, you can possibly detect Legionnaires' disease, which is very common in hospitals. This is our team. We are the Dream Team. We have over 35 years of combined experience in sales, operations, marketing, design, and technology. Behind the Dream Team is our Rockstar Advisory Board. Our members are from healthcare, from hospital administration, and hospital facilities management. It's because of our advisory board, we have over 22,000 hospitals that we can go do our outreach to. So thank you again for being here. And if you have any questions, please email me, and I hope to meet you in person soon.
How cool is that? Thanks, Jennifer. And last up, we have Things Protocol. They're building a secure financial platform for IoT devices and communication. Take it away, Yudi.
Hey everyone, my name is Yudi. I'm the CEO and IoT architect in Things Protocol. We are a startup based in the Netherlands, and recently we extended our feet to Zurich, Switzerland for a fintech incubation program and related business as well. So what do we do here? We help companies streamline their financial processes and payment with distributed ledger and the Internet of Things technology. In this post-pandemic world, we require more and more automation. The human-less life becomes a new normal. IoT and its nature to remotely provide data and control are the keys to that. However, there's a huge disconnection between the IoT technology and the banking, finance, insurance industry. Today, for example, company A is monitoring their assets using IoT and apply analytics on the data to improve their systems. However, when it comes to financial and payment processes with other parties, they don't have the mutual trust anymore, neither on the IoT data nor on the financial processes. That causes a huge value loss in their daily operations. The IoT security issues, the multi-party data trust, and IoT operations are the reasons that are hindering us from doing so. Before jumping into our solutions, I want to highlight 3 key elements in our technologies. Number 1 is the device identity. This is the most important factor of device security. All the encryptions and verifications is based on this. We make it happen by enabling self-generated credentials with zero knowledge and a dynamic identity tracking system. Number 2 is a secure way of communication. By leveraging Hedera Consensus Service, we have built a communication protocol specifically for IoT devices to make sure it can be deployed in all kinds of platforms and offer a high performance with consensus. And finally, we provide a DLT-based business process and payment automation using smart contract service, where all parties can control and see the process and their data in a need-to-know basis. So based on our technology, the solutions to solve this connection between IoT and the finance automations are a top IoT security communication protocol, autonomous IoT-based financing system, and a managed service for both the hardware and software. We're connecting the physical world and the financial services to empower the financial industry and their customers. We see 3 stages of how humans are using IoT. IoT 1.0 is for data collection and monitoring. And IoT 2.0 today is all about cloud-based technology and with analytics, AI, and machine learning attached within the company. But for IoT 3.0, it's all about enabling a global multi-party business for everyone. The market out there is huge. Over 40 billion connected devices, 10 million IoT developers, and 100 billion market size in the financial sector for IoT. Last but not least, the business model. Not many companies are offering IoT-based financial payment automation service, and we are probably one of the first to provide this business model. With us, you need zero initial investment in hardware. Backed by our financial partners, we will give the device for free, and you pay only per use based on the number of devices and the transaction you make. It's not only cost saving, but also hassle-free for your IoT project. At the same time, we also offer software in a subscription service model. So our customer don't need to worry about technologies like blockchain, IoT. It's gonna be as easy as using a mobile application. And very importantly, the team is made up with experts from both the banking and energy industry who have many years of experience in the domains of IoT, blockchain, and security. And we have made some tractions already. We started with Hedera Hashgraph and recently have our technology tested with Fortune 500 company. Now we aim to bring all these to empower our customers with their financial and payment process automated with IoT. If you are interested in us or have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thanks.
All right, and with that, we wrap up our first ever Hedera Boost demo day. It's exciting to hear about some of these projects coming to life. If you had a favorite pitch, let us know in the comments below. I'm sure the teams would love the feedback. And if you'd like to build your own startup on Hedera Hashgraph, feel free to apply for support at hedera.com/boost. We'd love to help.